The grill is still warm. The sun is dropping behind the fence, the sky going that soft orange you wait all winter for, and you finally sit down in your favorite chair with something cold in your hand. Then you feel it. That little sting on your ankle. Then another on the back of your arm. 10 minutes later, you are swatting the air like a fool and carrying your plate back inside, screen door slapping shut behind you. Sound familiar? Well, the garden center is not going to tell you this, but you can win that patio back this summer, and you do not need a single can of bug spray to do it. You just need the right 9 plants in the right pots. Now, one honest thing before we start, because I would rather tell you the truth than sell you a fairy tale. Researchers at Clemson University looked at 62 studies on this, and they found something worth knowing. Simply having these plants sitting in your yard does not build an invisible wall that mosquitoes bounce off. A plant just standing there, growing quietly, is not spraying anything into the air. The magic is locked inside the leaves, and you have to let it out. You do that by crushing or brushing the leaves right where you sit, so the oils lift into the air around your chair. Think of it like a bay leaf in a pot of soup. Whole and dry, it does almost nothing. Crush it between your fingers first, and suddenly the whole kitchen smells of it. That is exactly how these 9 plants work. Put them in pots, set them close, and rough them up a little when you sit down. And there is one plant near the middle of this list that lab scientists rank above the strongest drugstore spray. So stick with me and I will show you how to use it. Let's start with citronella, since it is the name everyone already knows. The plant most folks mean when they say citronella is a scented geranium sold as the mosquito plant, though true citronella grass is a cousin worth knowing too. What matters is the lemony oil in those leaves, the same smell you have sniffed on 100 patio candles. People buy the plant, set it in a corner, and expect it to do the candle's job all on its own. It will not, because the oil stays inside the leaf until you release it. So keep it in a pot right beside your chair, and when you settle in for the evening, pinch a leaf and rub it between your fingers, or brush your hand across the whole plant as you pass. That lemony cloud is what you want hanging around your ankles. Give it a bright spot with 6 hours of sun, water when the top inch of soil dries out, and in most of the country you bring it indoors before frost, since it is tender. The payoff is a fresh citrusy scent on your fingers that smells like summer itself, minus the mosquito. Number 2 is lemongrass, and this is the tall, dramatic one that earns its keep by looks alone. Lemongrass is where real citronella oil comes from, so you are getting the genuine article, not a stand-in. It grows into a fountain of arching green blades that can reach 3 or 4 feet in a big pot, which makes it a handsome thing to park at the edge of your seating, almost like a piece of living furniture. To put it to work, snap off a blade, bruise it hard between your palms, and wipe it along the arms of your chair or the edge of the table. That releases a sharp lemon oil that lingers right where you rest your arms. Lemongrass loves heat and full sun, drinks more water than most plants on this list, and wants a roomy pot with drainage holes so its roots never sit in a puddle. One warning worth saying plainly. Those blades have edges that can nick you like a paper cut, so handle them with a little respect. Come cold weather, it is tender, so folks in colder zones treat it as a one-summer plant or haul the pot inside to a bright window. On a warm evening, that citrus punch is the freshest smell out there. Number 3 is catmint, and this is the standout I promised you, so lean in. Catmint and its rougher cousin catnip carry a compound called nipetolactone, and this is the part that gets people excited. Scientists at Iowa State University found that in the laboratory, that compound repelled mosquitoes about 10 times better than the active ingredient in most drugstore sprays. Now I have to be straight with you, the same way I would with my own kids. That was a lab bench with concentrated oil, not a plant sitting in a pot, and the oil evaporates fast once it hits the open air. So do not expect a force field. What you can expect is a lovely, soft, sprawling plant with gray-green leaves and clouds of little lavender flowers that bees adore. Crush a handful of those leaves and rub them on your skin or your chair, and you get a genuine burst of that mosquito-bothering oil right where you need it. Catmint is tough as old boots, survives cold winters as a perennial in most of the country, wants full sun and shrugs off dry spells once it settles in. One gentle warning. If a neighborhood cat discovers it, do not be surprised to find a very happy visitor rolling around in your pot. That is 3 down, and already you can see the pattern forming. These are not decorations. They are little oil factories, and you are the one who flips the switch by giving the leaves a squeeze. Keep that in mind, and every plant on this list starts pulling its weight. Number 4 is lavender, and yes, the same lavender you love for its smell is quietly working against mosquitoes too. That soft, sweet, calming scent we adore is exactly the kind of heavy fragrance that biting bugs would rather avoid. For a patio, reach for a hardy variety like the big French kinds gardeners call Grosso or Provence, since they throw off the most oil and hold up best to weather. Set a pot right beside where you sit, and as you pass, drag your hand along the flower spikes to lift that scent into the air. You can even snip a few dried spikes and tuck them in a bowl on the table for a steady, gentle waft while you eat. Lavender wants to bake, so give it the sunniest, hottest spot you have, a gritty, fast-draining soil, and go easy on the water, because kindness with the watering can is what kills it faster than any winter. It survives the cold as a perennial across much of the country, coming back bushier every single year. The payoff here is double. You are calmer, and the mosquitoes are less interested. Number 5 is the humble marigold, the cheerful little flower your grandmother probably grew by the back step without ever knowing why it worked. French marigolds give off a strong, slightly musky scent from both their flowers and their ferny leaves, a smell many biting insects steer clear of. They are dirt cheap, they bloom all summer long in hot orange and gold, and a single tray of seedlings costs less than a fancy coffee. Ring your seating area with pots of them, and brush the foliage with your hand now and then to stir up that scent. They ask for almost nothing beyond sun and the occasional drink, and they flower harder the more you pinch the old blooms off, so a lazy gardener and a fussy one both end up happy. One honest note. Not everyone loves that musky smell, so give a leaf a sniff before you commit to a whole ring of them. If you do like it, few plants give you this much cheerful color and scent for so little money. Right about here is a good moment to say something. If you are enjoying this and it is giving you ideas for your own patio, sticking around and following along really does help, because sharing budget-friendly garden tricks like these is the whole reason this channel exists. Now let's get back to filling those pots. Number 6 is basil, and I am not talking about basil for your dinner tonight. I am talking about basil as a bodyguard for your ankles. That warm, peppery, sweet smell that makes basil so wonderful in the kitchen is a smell mosquitoes find pushy and unpleasant. The lemon and cinnamon varieties throw off an especially strong scent, so grab one of those if you can find it. Keep a big leafy pot of it right at table height, close enough to reach without getting up, and when you sit down, tear a few leaves in half and scatter them on the table or rub them on your wrists. The torn edge is where the oil escapes, so tearing beats leaving them whole every time. Basil loves warmth, sun, and steady water, and it grows fast and cheap from a packet of seeds you can start on a windowsill. It is an annual, meaning it lives one warm season and then finishes, so enjoy it hard while summer lasts and do not feel guilty tearing it up. That fresh green scent on a warm evening is a small joy all by itself. Number 7 is lemon balm, a soft, unfussy member of the mint family with a bright lemony smell folks genuinely love. Because it carries some of the same citrus oils as citronella, crushing a handful and rubbing it on your skin or your chair gives you a fresh burst of scent that bugs would rather not sit in. It grows easily, almost too easily, in a pot, and that brings me to your warning. Like all its mint relatives, lemon balm spreads with real enthusiasm, so keep it in its own container and never let it loose in a garden bed unless you want it turning up in every corner of the yard. It is a hardy perennial that shrugs off cold winters and comes back every spring, happy in full sun or a little afternoon shade, and forgiving if you forget to water it now and then. Rub a leaf, breathe in, and you will understand why this one is a keeper. Number 8 is rosemary, the tough evergreen shrub with a scent that carries clear across the patio. That deep, piney, resinous smell is heavy and strong, exactly the kind of fragrance that muddies the air a mosquito is trying to hunt through. Rosemary earns its spot because you can toss a sprig right onto the coals of your grill and let the fragrant smoke do the work, an old trick that smells incredible and clouds the air around you while dinner cooks. Off the grill, just brush the needles as you walk by, or snap a sprig and set it on the table beside you. Now, a plain-spoken warning about zones, because this one really matters. Rosemary is only winter hardy in the milder parts of the country, roughly zone 7 and warmer. If your winters get properly cold, grow it in a pot you can carry indoors to a sunny window before the first hard freeze, and it will sail right through to spring. Give it full sun, sharp drainage, and stingy watering, since it hates wet feet more than almost anything. That warm, woody scent is worth every bit of the small effort. Number 9 is bee balm, and it is a beautiful way to close out the list. Bee balm, sometimes called wild bergamot, is a native perennial with shaggy firework-shaped blooms in red, pink, and purple that hummingbirds and butterflies cannot resist. Its leaves carry a spicy, citrusy oil, the same family of scent that gives Earl Grey tea its perfume, and that oil is what does the deterring. Crush a few leaves and rub them where you sit to set it loose, and you get a warm, spicy scent that feels almost like a cup of tea steeping right beside your chair. Bee balm is happy in full sun to a little shade, comes back stronger every year as a hardy perennial across most of the country, and drinks a bit more water than the Mediterranean plants on this list, so do not let it bake bone dry in the July heat. One small note. Give it decent airflow and room to breathe, because crowded, stuffy conditions can leave a dusty film on the leaves late in summer, and a little space between the pots takes care of that. Between the color, the hummingbirds, and the scent on your fingers, bee balm is a gift that keeps on giving. So there is the whole lineup. Citronella, lemongrass, catmint, lavender, basil, lemon balm, rosemary, and bee balm. 9 plants, all happy in pots, all sitting quietly until you give them a squeeze. Now, before you rush off to buy all 9 at once, let me save you some money and some overwhelm. You do not need the whole set to start. Pick 3 and put them by the chairs you actually sit in, right at arm's reach, so brushing a leaf becomes as natural as reaching for your drink. If I were starting from scratch tonight, I would grab catmint for that lab-tested oil, lavender because I love the smell anyway, and a couple of cheap marigolds to ring the whole thing in color. That trio costs almost nothing and gives you plenty to work with, and you can always add the others as the summer goes on. And remember the one rule that ties it all together. The plant does not do the work by standing there looking pretty. You do with a quick crush or a brush of the hand when you settle in for the evening. It takes 2 seconds and it costs you nothing. Picture it now. That same warm evening, the same soft orange sky behind the fence, the grill cooling down. Only this time you stay in your chair. You reach over, run your fingers through the catmint, brush past the lavender, and settle back with your drink while the scent of a real garden drifts around you. The bites that used to drive you inside are fewer and farther between, and the patio finally feels like yours again. If this gave you a fresh idea for your own patio this summer, you will feel right at home here, because that is exactly what this channel is all about. Give a few of these a try, and if you have a favorite plant that keeps the bugs off your porch, drop it in the comments so the rest of us can steal the idea.